Prologue. He found the bag by accident, returning to his chambers earlier than expected. Saw it sitting on her bed. One small bag, half-packed, simple clothes, a few personal items. Nothing expensive. Nothing that belonged to him. Just her, leaving. He stood in the doorway, frozen, unable to move, unable to breathe. For 5 years, she had been his wife, his queen, his last choice. He had married her because the council demanded it, because he needed an heir, because his first choice had refused him, his second choice had died, his third choice had married another. She had been fourth, the Omega daughter of a minor noble, quiet, unremarkable, convenient. For 5 years she had tried to be a good wife, a good queen, to earn his attention, his respect, his love. For 5 years he had given her nothing, treated her like furniture, like an obligation, like his last choice. And now she was leaving. One bag. That was all she needed, all she wanted from 5 years of marriage. He picked up the bag, felt how light it was, saw the note tucked into the side pocket. I cannot be your last choice anymore. I am choosing myself. I am leaving tonight. Do not look for me. His hands shook. The bag fell from his grip, and for the first time in 5 years, he realized what he was losing. Not a queen, not an obligation, but the only person who had ever truly chosen him, and he had given her nothing but indifference in return. After years as his last choice, she packed one bag. He found it and couldn't move, couldn't breathe, couldn't imagine life without the woman he had never noticed was there. Chapter 1. 5 years earlier, I stood at the altar, my fourth choice. That was what I overheard the king say to his advisor the week before. She is not ideal, but she is acceptable. My fourth choice. Not my first love who refused him for another alpha. Not my second who died of fever. Not my third who married a duke. Me, Alara Thorne, Omega, daughter of a minor noble, quiet, forgettable, convenient. I told myself it did not matter, that marriage was always political, that love was a luxury, that I could make this work. I was wrong. The wedding was beautiful, cold. He spoke his vows without looking at me, kissed me formally, distantly, led me from the altar like a duty completed. That night he brought me to my chambers, not our chambers, mine. You will sleep here. These are your rooms, and yours, the king's chambers. We will maintain separate quarters, but we are married. This is a political arrangement. We do not need to pretend otherwise. He left. I stood alone in my beautiful prison, and realized my life had just become waiting for him to notice me, to want me, to choose me. Even once. The first year I tried. I attended every dinner, every function, every court appearance, smiled, made conversation, supported him publicly. He barely acknowledged me, spoke to me only when necessary, looked through me like I was glass. The court noticed, whispered, "Poor Queen Alara." He does not even pretend to care. She must be heartbroken. I was, but I hid it. Kept trying, kept hoping, kept believing that maybe, someday, he would see me. The second year, I tried differently. I learned about his kingdom, his policies, his challenges, offered advice, suggestions, solutions. He listened politely, dismissed most of it, implemented some without crediting me. I told myself it was progress, that he was using my ideas even if he did not acknowledge them, that I was helping even if I was invisible. The third year, I stopped trying to be useful, started trying to be present. I left books in his study, flowers in his chambers, notes about things I thought he would enjoy. He never mentioned them, never acknowledged them, never said thank you. I found them weeks later, untouched, unread, forgotten. The fourth year I began to disappear, stopped attending every function, stopped offering advice, stopped leaving gifts, started spending time in the gardens, the library, anywhere he was not. He did not notice, did not ask where I was, did not seem to care that his queen had become a ghost. The 5th year, I made my decision. I would leave, not dramatically, not angrily, just quietly, the way I had lived, the way he preferred. I would pack one bag, write one note, and disappear. Give him what he clearly wanted, a life without his last choice. 5 years of being invisible, 5 years of being his last choice. It was enough. I was done. Chapter 2. I planned carefully, saved money from my personal allowance. Small amounts, nothing that would be noticed. I had enough for 6 months, maybe a year if I was careful. I packed slowly, over several days, one item at a time, so the servants would not notice. Simple clothes, practical, nothing fancy, nothing that screamed queen. I could blend in, disappear, become someone else. I chose the night of the winter solstice. The palace would be busy, a ball, hundreds of guests. No one would notice one person leaving. I wrote my note, simple, direct. I cannot be your last choice anymore. I am choosing myself. I am leaving tonight. Do not look for me. I placed it in the side pocket of my bag, would leave it on my pillow when I left. He would find it eventually, probably not for days. He never came to my chambers, never checked on me, never wondered where I was. I waited until the ball was at its peak. Music loud, dancing wild, everyone distracted. I dressed in my simplest gown, wrapped a cloak around me, picked up my bag, walked toward the servants' entrance. Freedom, finally. Then I heard footsteps, behind me, heavy, familiar. I turned. The king stood there, staring at me, at the bag, at the cloak. Where are you going? My heart stopped. Out, for a walk, with a bag? I had no answer, no explanation that made sense. He stepped closer, saw the note tucked in the side pocket, pulled it out, read it. His face went pale. You are leaving. Yes. Why? I laughed, bitter, broken. Why? You have ignored me for 5 years, treated me like furniture, like an obligation, like your last choice. I cannot do this anymore. I cannot be invisible in my own life. I am leaving. You are my queen. I am your wife. There is a difference. You do not get to just leave. Watch me. He caught me, before I could leave, before I could disappear, and he was furious, not sad, furious. Chapter 3. We stood in the corridor, him blocking my path, me clutching my bag, both of us frozen. You cannot leave. I just told you I am. The marriage, the kingdom. I do not care. You do not care about your responsibilities. I have fulfilled every responsibility for 5 years. I have been a perfect queen, attended every function, supported every decision, smiled through every humiliation, and you have given me nothing. What did you expect? Love? Respect? Basic human acknowledgement that I exist? I expected to be more than your last choice, more than the woman you settled for because everyone else said no. He flinched. You heard that. Of course I heard that. Everyone heard that. The whole court knows I was 4th, that you did not want me, that you only married me because you had no other option. That is not. That is exactly what it was, and I accepted it. I told myself love was not necessary, that I could live with indifference, but I cannot. Not anymore. Not when you look through me like I am glass. Not when you forget I exist. Not when I am dying inside and you do not even notice. I moved past him. He grabbed my arm, gentle but firm. Please, do not leave. Why? Why do you even care? You have not cared for 5 years. He stopped, could not finish. Exactly. You have no reason. So let me go. I cannot. Why not? Because. Another pause. Because what? Because I do not want you to. That is not enough. It is all I have. He asked me to stay, but gave me no reason, no explanation. Just I do not want you to. It was not enough. Chapter 4. I pulled my arm free, looked at him, really looked at him. The Alpha King, cold, distant, powerful. And for the first time I saw something in his eyes. Panic, fear, desperation. You have had 5 years to not want me to leave. 5 years to notice me, to care, to try. You chose not to. Every single day, you chose indifference. So now I am choosing myself. You do not understand. Then explain. Make me understand why I should stay. Why I should keep being invisible. Why I should keep breaking my heart for a man who does not even see me. He was quiet for a long moment. Then, I was afraid. Afraid of what? Of this. Of feeling something. Of caring. Of being vulnerable. So you made me invisible instead. Yes. That is cruel. I know. That is unforgivable. I know. Then why should I stay? Because... He took a breath. Because I need you. For what? To be your last choice? Your obligation? Your ghost? No. For... He struggled. For everything. That is not an answer. It is the only answer I have. I have spent 5 years building walls, keeping everyone at distance, including you, especially you, because you were the one who could hurt me. How? You married me. You chose me. Even if I was fourth. Even if I was not your first choice. You still chose me. And that terrified me. So you ignored me. Pushed me away. Made sure I could never hurt you by never letting me close. Yes. And now I am leaving. So you succeeded. You kept me away. Congratulations. Alara, please. No. I am done begging for scraps. Done hoping you will notice me. Done being your last choice. I am choosing myself. Finally. I walked past him. This time he did not stop me. Just stood there. Frozen. As I walked away. As I left the palace. As I disappeared into the night. His last choice. Finally choosing herself. He let me go. Finally. After 5 years of indifference. He let me walk away. And I was free. Chapter 5. The king stood in the empty corridor for an hour. Could not move. Could not breathe. Could not process what had just happened. His queen. His wife. His last choice. Had left. He went to her chambers. Saw the bed still made. The room untouched. Everything in its place. Except her. She was gone. He sat on her bed. Looked around. Really looked. For the first time in 5 years. Saw the books she read. The flowers she loved. The little touches she had added to make the space hers. Saw the life she had built in the margins of his indifference. Saw everything he had ignored. He found her journal, hidden in a drawer. Knew he should not read it. Read it anyway. Year 1. I will make this work. He does not love me. But perhaps he will learn to. Perhaps I can earn it. Year 2. I tried. So hard, he barely notices. But I will keep trying. Keep hoping. Year 3. I am disappearing. He does not see me. Speak to me. Acknowledge me. I am a ghost in my own marriage. Year 4. I cannot do this much longer. The pain. The invisibility. The constant rejection. I am breaking. Year 5. I am leaving. I have to. For myself. For my sanity. For my life. He cannot give me what I need. So I'm giving it to myself. Freedom. He closed the journal. Hands shaking, throat tight. For 5 years she had been breaking. And he had not noticed. Had not cared. Had been too afraid to see her. And now she was gone. He read her journal. Saw 5 years of pain. Of hope dying slowly. Of her breaking. While he ignored her. And he finally understood what he had done. Chapter 6. I walked for 3 days, put distance between myself and the palace, between myself and him, between myself and the woman who had spent 5 years being invisible. I found a small village, remote, quiet, No one knew me here. I was not a queen, not a last choice, just a woman. I found work at a healer's shop, mixing medicines, helping patients. Honest work, simple work. Work that made me feel useful, seen, valued. The healer, an older woman named Mira, asked no questions. Just gave me a room above the shop. A job, a chance to start over. I took it gratefully. Days turned into weeks. I stopped looking over my shoulder. Stopped waiting for him to come. Stopped believing he would even try. He had let me walk away. Had not followed. Had not fought. Had proven once again that I was his last choice. That I did not matter. I told myself I was relieved. That this was what I wanted. Freedom. Independence. A life where I was more than invisible. But sometimes, late at night, I wondered. Did he notice I was gone? Did he care? Did he regret anything? Then I reminded myself. He had 5 years to notice me, to care, to try. He chose not to. So why would he start now? I was free, building a new life, and slowly learning to be seen again. By myself. For myself. Chapter 7. 2 months after she left, the king finally moved. He had spent those months in her chambers, reading her journal, looking at her things, understanding too late what he had lost. His advisor found him there one morning. "Your Majesty, the council is asking about the Queen. Tell them the truth. That she left. That I drove her away. That I was a fool. They want to know if we should search for her. No. She asked not to be found. But you are the king. You could. I could. But I will not. She deserves her freedom. Deserves better than me. Then what will you do? Learn to live with my mistakes." The advisor hesitated. "May I speak freely? Always. You loved her." The king stopped. "Did I?" "Yes. You just did not realize it until she was gone." "How do you know?" "Because everyone else knew. Everyone saw how you looked at her when she was not watching. How you kept every gift she gave you. How you read every note. How you asked about her constantly even when pretending not to care. I thought I was hiding it. You were hiding it from yourself, not from us." The king was quiet. "So what do I do now?" The advisor smiled sadly. "You let her go. You let her be happy. And you learn to live with the consequences of being too afraid to love her when you had the chance." He loved her, had always loved her. He just had not known it. Until it was too late. Until she was gone. Chapter 8. 3 months after I left, he found me. I was in the village market, buying herbs for the shop, laughing at something Mira said. Happy. Free. He stood at the edge of the market, watching. I felt his presence before I saw him. Turned. Froze. He looked different. Thinner. Tired. Older somehow. We stared at each other across the crowded market, neither moving. Finally, he approached. "Elara, Your Majesty, I am not." "Not what?" "Your Majesty, not anymore. You dissolved the marriage?" "No, but you are not my king. Not here." "I know." "Then why are you here?" "To see you. To make sure you are all right." "I am fine. I can see that." "Good. You look happy." "I am." "Good." He meant it. I could hear it in his voice. "You should be happy." "Why are you here?" "Really?" "I needed to see you. To know you were safe, too." He stopped. "To what?" "To tell you I am sorry." "For what?" "For everything. For 5 years of making you invisible. For treating you like an obligation. For being too afraid to love you. For realizing too late what I had. You love me. Loved. Past tense. I lost the right to present tense. Why are you telling me this? Because you deserve to know. Deserve to understand it was not you. It was never you. It was me. My fear. My cowardice. My inability to be vulnerable. You were perfect. I was broken. And I broke you in the process. I stared at him. At the man who had been my husband. Who had ignored me for 5 years. Who now stood before me confessing. It is too late. I know. I am not coming back. I know. Then why tell me? Because you spent 5 years thinking you were not enough. Thinking you were the last choice. Thinking I did not want you. I needed you to know the truth. That you were everything. That I was just too much of a coward to admit it. He found me, confessed, and asked for nothing. Just wanted me to know. That I had been enough. That he had been the one who failed. Epilogue. 1 year later, I stayed in the village, built my life, became a healer, helped people, was seen, valued, loved by the community. He returned to the palace, ruled alone, never remarried, never replaced me. We sent letters, occasionally, carefully. He told me about the kingdom. I told him about my work. We were friends, strangers, something in between. One day he wrote, I dissolved the marriage officially. You are free, completely. To marry, to live, to forget me. I wish you every happiness, I wrote back. Thank you for letting me go, for setting me free, for finally seeing me, even if it was too late. I wish you peace, he wrote. I found your bag, the one you packed. I kept it. It sits in my chambers, a reminder of what I lost, of what I was too afraid to keep, of the woman who was brave enough to choose herself when I would not choose her. Some nights I hold it. Remember, regret. I wrote, let it go. Let me go. Move forward. Find someone who you are not afraid to love, he wrote. There is no one else. There never was. It was always you. I was just too broken to see it. I am working on being less broken. Not for you. For me. For whoever comes next. So I do not make the same mistakes. I wrote, good. You deserve to be whole. Everyone does. 2 years after I left, he came to the village again. I was in the healer's garden, planting herbs. He stood at the gate. May I come in? I nodded. He sat beside me, helped me plant. We worked in silence. Finally, I am better. Better? Less broken. Less afraid. Less me, and more who I should have been. I am glad. I came to ask you something. What? Would you have dinner with me? Why? Because I want to know you. The real you. Not the queen. Not the last choice. Just Alara. As friends? As whatever you want. I am not coming back to the palace. I am not asking you to. Just dinner. One meal. Where we are, honest. Where I am not afraid. Where you are not invisible. I looked at him. At the man who had been my husband. Who had broken me. Who had learned. Changed. Grown. Okay. Dinner. He smiled. Real. Genuine. Grateful. Thank you. We had dinner. Then another. Then walks. Then conversations. Slowly, carefully. We learned each other. Not as king and queen. As Theron and Alara. As two broken people. Healing. Together. And maybe, someday, we would be more. But for now, this was enough. Friendship. Honesty. Presence. He saw me. Finally. Completely. And I saw him. The man beneath the crown. The fear beneath the cold. The love he had been too afraid to show. We were not together. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But we were healing. Both of us. And that was enough. After years as his last choice, she packed one bag. He found it and couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't understand what he was losing until she was gone. She left. Found herself. Became whole. He learned. Changed. Grew. Realized too late what he had. But gave her the space to heal. To be free. To choose herself. And maybe, someday, if they both healed enough, if they both grew enough, they would find their way back. Not as king and queen. Not as husband and wife. But as Theron and Alara. Two people who learned the hard way that love requires courage. Requires presence. Requires choosing someone every day, not just once. Not when convenient. Every day. She was his last choice. Until she became his only choice. And by then, she was choosing herself, and he respected that, loved that, waited for that. Because real love is not possession. It is freedom. It is letting go. It is hoping they choose you back. Not because they have to, but because they want to.